is the Solaris Power 60 Open, the brand new flagship of the Solaris range, and it's making its global debut here at Cannes. And I can't think of many 60 footers that I'd want to be taking out for a sea trial after the boat show on an evening like this. And later on, we're going to stop, we're going to take it somewhere pretty, and we're going to show you the decks and interior. But before we do that, let's find out what this 1.7 million euro super day boat is like to drive. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Okay, but before we do that, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel. We love sea trialing boats here at YachtBuyer. If you enjoy watching them, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you won't miss one. I've been fortunate enough to drive smaller models in this range, and even the smaller ones feel remarkably solid given the style of boat they are. It's very open, but it's got this beautiful flared bow, which looks great, but it also does a very good job of deflecting spray away from the boat. You may be picking up a bit of the wind, there's a bit of chop around. The wind has picked up this evening, but despite this boat's open design, it feels so comfortable, and we are currently charging along at 25 knots, and that is a very comfortable cruising speed for this boat. It's IPS engine options only, and this has got the largest ones, 1,000 horsepower per side, so theoretically we should get close to 40 knots according to the yard, so let's see what we can do. It's a fantastic driving position. There's two seats here, there's two seats over there. They are fully adjustable. I can get really nice and close to the windscreen now. I'm in the seated position now. It's very sports car-esque. You've got a sports car style windscreen. I'm close to everything, I'm snug, I'm secure. But you can lift up the footrest, lift up the bolster, and you can stand really comfortably too. But this does offer surprisingly good protection considering the openness. Open the throttles a little bit more. We're only at 2,000 RPM, and with these IPS 1350s there is a lot of power on tap. There's a lovely push of torque and a surge of power as you move up the rev range. 30 knots now. Vary those throttles. 35. I've got the auto trim on, so the blades are just working to manoeuvre the boat into the optimum trim. 37. That's 38 knots. 39. Now this is an owner's boat, so I do not want to take the mick, and it's a little bit bumpy, as I said, but the point stands. This thing seriously performs, and it handles nicely too. It's IPS, so it's quite steady. You know, it's not ferocious in the corners, but it reacts really nicely to the wheel. It's effortless. It really is effortless. Everything about driving this boat feels easy, and the IPS built into that. Easy at slow speed because you've got the joystick, easy at high speed because it's so comfortable, and because you've got a really great helm layout. The screens are a little bit of a stretch. They've got a dial for the screens. I'd rather that was a bit close to me so I don't have to lean forward to use it. But in terms of the connection to the wheel and the throttles, it's absolutely excellent. And I love that four of you can travel so comfortably, all facing forward, all enjoying the ride. You can communicate easily. On a bright, hot summer's day, covering miles in this thing would be so comfortable. But it's not just a glamour puss. It really does handle well in rougher conditions. And it looks so great, but it handles spray, it handles chop much better than you might think it would given the way it looks. It's a classy machine, an effortless, wafty GT cruiser. And the idea is that you go out, you cover your ground quite quickly at anywhere between 20 to 38 knots, and you're first to the anchorage where you can start enjoying the deck spaces. So let's do that. Well, this is the big Solaris in its natural habitat, on anchor between some islands in the Med. This is what it's designed to do. And I'll point out first, it has got a seakeeper fitted, but we're so close to the show, it's not had time to spool up, so we are rolling around a little bit. Anyway, on with the tour. Down here, we've got a hydraulic bathing platform, and that connects to a tender garage, which is large enough to hold a Williams Minijet. And the first thing that hits you is boat design is getting quite angular now, quite modern. This is very soft. There's lots and lots of curvature. They said that Ferretti's old Mocky range was the inspiration for a lot of this design, and it's got a real classic sports car feel. It's lovely, and the detailing is gorgeous. This matte wood effect around here and these wooden panels, all the teak detailing that you see picking up as you go through the boat, it does look and feel fabulous. Heading to the cockpit, there is form and function. We have all of the mooring gear down here, the cleat and the fairleads, but that is hidden away under this capping. So, you know, when you're not using it, it's hidden away neatly under there. That's really nicely put together, and the detailing is lovely. Deep cup holders here, pop-up lights on either side, so you've got some ambient light at night, and these are great. The functionality of these pop-up backs is really good because they're on ratchets, so you can put them in a few different positions, and you pull them back, and they're flush again, and all three of those do that, so you can get nice and comfortable in this aft sun pad. And then amidships, you have the balconies. You know, we see these everywhere now, but they still work really well, especially on this scale. And here they don't necessarily connect with the water line, but they connect with the seating area here, which is really nice. And when you're sitting down in these two tables, it means that you've got this unbroken view out over the water, and as a place to jump off and enjoy some water sports, they're absolutely fabulous. And what I really like about this arrangement is, okay, you've got two tables, they're split, but it means you have this lovely central passageway. It means that people are split when they're dining, but I think in terms of the movement around this area, it makes it so much more flexible that you can move around the outside and you can move through the middle. And nice that they put this tray on here as well, so if you want to put your phone down, you know it's not going to slide off. It's an open boat, but it's a med boat. It's a hot weather boat, so protection is also important. You've got this very substantial hardtop, and that's supplemented by an optional bimini. You push a button and that will pull right a long way out as well. It almost covers that sun pad, so you have got good protection if you want it that way. Heading further forward, this is the area where you can serve your guests from. So there's a mix of storage in this section. This bit's quite nice because it's got bespoke storage for all the boat's crockery. You've got a space for your cutlery down there as well. And then these two are the serveries. So under this lid, you've got the sink, and over on that side where you find the grill. And everything you come into contact here feels extremely tactile and of very high quality. There's real solidity without this boat. Walking around, the teak feels solid underfoot. All of these railings are beautifully connected to their mouldings, and even the lids feel high quality. The doors as well. It's a quality product. It truly is. This is a nice touch too. If you want to watch some TV, you can do that. Push of a button and that pops down from there to face into the cockpit, and then when you're getting on the move again, you can push it and up it goes away, and you'd never know it was there. That's really nice. So to the foredeck. There are so many evocative angles as you look forward over the bow. Some beautiful touch points as well. This gives me sort of 60s Corvette vibes, this windscreen. This is very Chris-Craft, having the teak running right to the bow. It is absolutely beautiful. Even the curvature here, this sort of double curve of the moulding, it's all so nice to look at. And again, the practical detailing is great as well. You've got your deep cup holders like you've got at the aft end. We've got more pop-up lights, so you've got a little bit of light up here if you're up here in the evening. These railings are nicely fitted to the top of the coach roof here. Okay, you've not got railings around the outside of the boat to maintain the aesthetic, but because it's got such good freeboard, these are nice and tall. You haven't got railings to hang the fenders off, but you've got these plug sockets so you can dot them all the way along, and they all stow in the anchor locker when you're not using them. It just feels really easy to move around this boat, and you get a real appreciation of the broadness of this bow. It's got really great freeboard, a lovely flare, great for when you're at sea, but also great in terms of living space, because look at the width of this sun pad. It's absolutely enormous. Nice sofa built into the front of it as well, and these are a nice addition too, so it makes it a little bit more sociable if people are sitting there, but also you can recline up here, look back over your boat, really enjoy the view. But I come back to practical stuff as well. The anchor winch is hidden away underneath these panels here, so again, when it's not in use, it's all beautifully discreet, you wouldn't even know it's there. But pop-up cleats as well on both sides. Again, they pop away when you're not using them, and you've got a winch as well, so you can tighten your lines if you're mooring in the Mediterranean style. It really is style and substance beautifully intertwined. Let's head inside. Right then, onto the lower deck, where there are a few different layout options. We'll run through those as we go. This boat's got the 3-cabin layout, which leaves you this little seating area down here. I think it's only really here to serve the coffee machine, which of course, this being an Italian boat, has to be somewhere. There are some alternatives here though. You can have another bathroom here, or you can have it as a 4th cabin, and you get a bathroom with that as well if you go for that option. 4 cabins would feel quite tight, I think. This feels like a good mix. Down here, we've got the guest cabins. So in this arrangement, this passageway leads down to the day head, but also to the 2 guest cabins. There's a twin to starboard, and then to port Over a similar footprint, we have a double. Now these don't have private bathrooms, but you've got that day head just there, so these cabins share that bathroom. Another layout you can have is just 2 cabins, and in that, guys, you lose this partition, and this is one full beam owner's cabin. And if you're not going to have lots of people on board very regularly, that would be a really nice setup. You've got the big spacious cabin here, and the one forward we're going to look at now. In this arrangement, this is the owner's cabin forward, and this would be a VIP if you have that 2 cabin arrangement. I hope that's all clear. But this is a really nice space actually, and because it's where it is, there's loads of headroom. You wouldn't have this amount of headroom if you were in the master amidships. Floor space is decent too, and there's really good storage as well. These hanging lockers on either side. Incidentally, you do lose this if you have the 4th cabin with the bathroom, because this is where the bathroom goes. There's something to consider. Storage elsewhere is pretty good. There's this nice drawer under the bed, so you can get to that without having to lift the bed up, which is always quite nice. And you've got some slots either side of the bed to put phones, valuables, that sort of thing. And this has got its own private bathroom, so you've got a nice private ensuite here, which is large enough to have a separate shower cubicle. And that's the guest spaces. Let's go and find the crew cabin. I'm glad we came to the crew cabin because I forgot a function, which is that these backrests flip over the other way, so then of course you can use these seats to look out over the balconies. Just makes a bit more of them. You've not always got your backs to them. But the other point is that you can lift this up, and through here is where you have access to the crew space. There is a lot to like about this boat, but I do not understand what they're trying to achieve by having a crew cabin. A, it's not the type of boat that really needs one, and the idea of somebody actually sleeping down here is frankly quite ridiculous. Where's the bed, I hear you say? Well, you climb down the ladder, you come down to your bathroom, and then your bed pops out from the wall. There's storage above and below. There is a toilet down here, but for God's sake, just spec this as a massive lazarette, as it should be. Let's go to the engine room. Engine access is through this hatch in the middle of the cockpit. Tip to myself for future boat tests, don't come down here immediately after the sea trial. It is rather warm. The space itself though, as I said, access down a ladder in the cockpit there, and then you're right down on top of the Seakeeper. That's just here, flanked by stainless steel fuel tanks, and you've got sight gauges as well, so you can see the quality of the fuel. There are fuel filters as well fitted on these tanks, and there's 2 of them, so you can switch one to the other if one happens to get blocked. Being a tender garage boat, there is of course this intrusion over the engines, but it does drop down between them, so you can sink down between them relatively easily and just about squeeze around the outside to check them. Access to the pods is very good, and the strainers, that sort of stuff, is very easy access towards the back of the engine room. You've got the generator over there on the port side. Again, that's reasonably easy to get to, and when you come down here, headroom is fine. It just dips completely as you go underneath that intrusion, but it's all really nicely insulated, hence why it's so quiet when you're out on the water. The base price for this model with IPS 800 is just shy of 1.7 million euros, but our test boat had a large number of cost options fitted, the most expensive ones being IPS 1350, a 325,000 euro upgrade, Seakeeper stabiliser, cockpit balconies, hydraulic passerelle, the tender lift and launch system, air conditioning, an 18 kilowatt generator, and the crew cabin fit out. So the total prices tested was a whisker over 2.5 million euros excluding VAT. Remember, if you want more details on specs and pricing, you can read the in-depth review of the Solaris Power Open 60 on yachtbuyer.com and compare it side by side with its nearest rivals. If we were to use one word to summarise this boat, it would be elegance. It's a slightly worn cliche, but it feels like a Bentley of the sea. It has that craftsmanship, that presence, that easy class, but also the performance, the ability to take you a long way in great comfort. That compromised crew cabin aside, in this sector, I think it's right to the top of the class. Thank you for watching that sea trial and review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give the video a like if you did. And if you'd like to watch some more Solaris content, we toured the 52 Coupe at Dusseldorf. I'll put that video up here for you. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. You can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.